Scotch podcast.
Yes, today we are thrilled to have with us today the incredibly talented Matt Prior, a Scotch Old Collegian who has dazzled the audiences with his remarkable performances during his time at Scotch. Matt lit up the stage in iconic roles such as Charlie Brown in You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, the Tin Man, The Wizard of Oz, and Jean Valjean in the 2012 production of Les Mis. His passion and talent led him to the prestigious Victorian College of the Arts, where he earned a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Music Theatre. Matt's career skyrocketed when he was scouted in his final year of his degree of the Australian touring production of Jersey Boys in 2018. Since then, he has captivated audience in productions like Thoroughly Modern Millie and Bright Star, where he played Jimmy Ray. Most recently, he wowed crowds as Dwayne in Nine, the musical. Audience can currently see you playing Erwin Batch in the production of Tina.
Right, so how did you get involved with musical theatre, and did you ever consider another career in the arts?
How did I get involved? Mum, when I was a kid, Mum used to teach calisthenics, which I don't even know if they really do anymore. But
Sometimes.
yeah, sometimes. And I was like, I think I was maybe 2 or 3, and apparently Mum was using an Elvis song for one of her numbers, and I used to run into the room from like wherever I was in the building and like jump on a chair and like bounce across the room in time with this song. I think it was Blue Suede Shoes or something like that. And because of that, Mum was like, oh, like, let's put him into a dance class. And so she put me into a tap class. And then it kind of just escalated from there. I was doing dance for like 5 or 6 years. And then I found Pelican Productions, and I couldn't sing to save my life, but I could dance. And so I was like doing that for fun. And then I decided, oh no, I want to do a solo. I want to be able to sing. Yeah. So I met my singing teacher, Rosie Hosking, with Pelican Productions, and learned how to sing from scratch, and then was able to sort of do it from there. And then, pursued theatre here, obviously at Scotch, and kind of just kept snowballing from there, and somehow ended up where I am today.
Awesome.
Yeah.
While at Scotch, you were involved in numerous school musicals, including playing Jean Valjean in the first production of Les Mis, The Tin Man in Wizard of Oz, and Charlie Brown, You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. What was your favourite show to be in, and why?
I think it has to be Les Mis. It's
Classic.
it's a pretty epic show, and at that point we had this just amazing group of performers. There was a lot of kids on scholarships, and so therefore a lot of people who like were doing the show purely through passion, and a lot of talent. There was crazy talent in that cast, and so and a lot of my like closest friends were obviously doing the show as well. So it was just a really fun, epic show to do together, and it was a really fun role personally to try and tackle. Obviously, he kind of goes from age 20-ish to 50-ish, and being a 16-year-old trying to do that was fun, and it's just the music's amazing. Like it's a really beautiful show. My sister was Gavroche as well, so like that was something a bit fun and special to have a bit of interaction with her on stage, and it's just it was I'd love to do it again as an adult now. Like I'd really love to be in it in the future at some point, because it's just a really amazing show.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but I did enjoy the other ones. Tin Man was fun. I got to do tap for that, and
True.
it was a bit of a different stage that we did in the chapel. And then, West Side Story in Year 12 was another kind of epic show.
Great show.
Great one.
Yeah, and I got very lucky. Lots of really good shows while I was here.
Yeah. I just want to ask, how's singing "Bring Him Home" at a 16-year-old?
Yeah, it's a challenge. Yeah, it's a hard sing.
Challenging.
I also I can't sing that high, so they actually had to lower the key. I think it was like by a tone or something, so that I could sing it. It was like just out of my range, and my voice was like still sort of breaking at that point. Sure. So the falsetto was like I was a bit stressed every night whether that was going to come out. And I got really, really sick during that week as
That
well.
happens to me all the time.
Yeah, and
Right,
so
when you don't want it to happen.
yeah, and like you lose your whole falsetto when you're sick. So it was stress, but it was. I mean, I feel like it kind of added to the
that's the
number
fun
as
part.
well.
The
That's
raw
the fun part.
emotion.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like yeah, it's such a beautiful song. So it's just like once you kind of get lost in it, it's a lot of fun.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely.
So after finishing your time at Scotch, you ended up studying a Bachelor of Fine Arts Music Theatre at Victoria College of the Arts. So did you always know that that's what you wanted to do as your career? I know you talked about it a bit earlier, saying you always loved it, but did you
Yeah.
ever think that you wanted to do something else? And then what advice would you give to other people who want to find their passions?
This one's a bit of a long story, actually. I didn't want to pursue it I didn't know you could do it as a career.
Yeah.
Right.
And so throughout my time at Scotch, like I always loved doing the musicals, but I was pretty heavily into sport, playing cricket and footy. And so and I kind of angled towards that towards the end. And I was going to just do the serious, secure thing of, I went to uni, I studied 1 year at Adelaide Uni doing commerce.
Oh, yeah.
And then, yeah, I hated that. It was not for me, commerce. And I was going home quite miserable, and my parents were like, "Oh, like, well, then find something you do like." They had kind of said, "Oh, do theatre," because I just didn't realize it was a career. I didn't actually realize you could do it as a job. And that year, I was doing outside of school. I was doing a show called Hairspray with Adelaide Youth Theatre, and was playing Link, and just was having the best time. It was it was the happiest I was away from uni. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And then because of the Hairspray, the Hills production of Legally Blonde was happening, and they had one of their performers pull out. And they saw me play Link, and it was like 3 weeks to the show. And they were like, can you come up and play Warner?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And it was my first introduction to an adult production. Like, it was the first time I was with a whole bunch of adults, and everyone was quite a bit older than me, like 5 or 6, 7 years older, which at 18 feels like a lot. And I just had the best fun. Like, it was I mean, Warner's a fun character.
Yeah,
because
of
he's
course.
a bit of an idiot, and you just get to sing a fun song and kind of do that.
Yeah.
And being around the adults that were doing it for fun, and I was like, this is amazing. And then my dance teacher, who's like became my second mum, in Beck Shembry and Rosie, were like, you can do this as a career. Like, it's a thing. And so because of that, I went to, I rung up to see if I could audition. This was very late in the year. And I hadn't applied in time to audition for VCA and Whopper. So I thought I was going to be doing commerce again for a year, just because,
Suffering
that's the thing
through.
Yeah, that's the thing you do. And then it was very bizarre. It was the last week of auditions for VCA. And I rung up to be like, oh, like, how do I apply, sort of thing. I was very green, like, clearly had no idea. And they were like, you can apply next year for the bachelor course. We do also do a like foundation course, which is a 1 year, at that time, free course, 3 days a week. And it's basically to see whether it's what you want to do. But there's plenty of people auditioning. We'll put you on our list to email for next year so that you can audition. And then about 20 minutes later, I got a call being like, someone's just cancelled. Our wait list is in another building. Do you want to fly to Melbourne tomorrow and audition?
Wow.
Oh,
And I was
wow.
like, oh, okay.
That would have been stressful.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, what do I do?
Prepare
Like,
yourself in
yeah.
like 24 hours.
yeah, I was like, what do I need? And they're like, oh, a couple of songs and a monologue. And I was like, oh, okay, right, I'll be there. And then so I went to Rosie, and we just were like, well, I can't learn new songs. So I was like, oh, I'll take In Serious from Legally Blonde.
Yeah.
Made it a solo because it's a duet. And then Empty Chairs and Empty Tables from Les Mis, even though I'd never actually sung that song. I just knew it. And it was more age appropriate. And then, went in and got very lucky. When I sang those songs, they were like, why did you pick these songs? Because they're bad. They're bad audition songs to pick. But I think I got told later, once I was in the bachelor course and everything like that, I got told by the people who auditioned me, we could tell you were super green, but we could tell that you loved it.
Yeah.
And we could tell that you had like the ability for us to work with.
Yeah.
And from the next question in finding passions and how to pursue it and everything, I think that's just as long as you're showing in the room that you want to be there and that you're willing to learn and like, yes, a bit of ability, but I think they look for people who they can see want of work and want to work on it.
Yeah.
And with the finding your passion, I got very lucky. I had parents that were super supportive. I had grandparents that were super supportive. They were like, go and do your thing. Like, we didn't. Our generation didn't. We did the serious, secure thing.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of regret. Like, mum and dad have always said they've got a bit of regret that they didn't pursue their passions. And that they were very willing to be like, no, go do this. Go move to Melbourne, see. And I got lucky with the foundation course that I had a year to figure it out.
Yeah.
And within 3 weeks, I was like, yeah, I want to do this.
Yeah, so do you always encourage people to just follow their passions, like, and not always take the...
I think so. I mean, like, it's all dependent on your life and where you're at and everything like that. But I think with how long people are living these days and everything like that, you don't want to get to 50 or 60 and be like, oh, I didn't do this. Like,
True. Yeah.
and why not? Like,
Yeah.
if I had gone there for a year and tried it and gone, no, this isn't for me, I could come back. I was still only 19. Come back and find something else that I might want to do.
Yeah.
But the fact that now I'm getting to just sing and dance and get paid really well for that, like, it pays off, I think, sometimes if you like pursue passion. And also, like, finding a thing that you can do as a job that you still find fun exponentially increases the quality of your life, I think. As someone who did something for a year that I did not like at all.
Yeah. Is that why Tyron was there? He runs VCA?
Tyron was Tyron came in my second year, I think, at VCA.
Okay.
And then he was our head of third year when I was in third year.
How good was he?
I mean, he's amazing.
He's great.
So good.
His knowledge and his passion is like a kind of addictive to be around. And he was a massive help for me in terms of when Jersey Boys kind of kicked off. I didn't obviously have an agent to negotiate through that. And so Tyron kind of became my person, my go-to, because he obviously had plenty of experience with it all. And he was able to guide me through that process. So I would say, like, as an acting teacher, incredible, but also as someone that can kind of mentor you as well. He's a really great person to have around.
Because me and Lucy, we recently went to his music theatre festival in Tasmania.
Oh, nice.
He's
that looked amazing, yeah.
So much
they had a
fun.
couple of VCA performances there as well, I think.
Great.
Yeah, I saw some of them. Yeah.
He was performing as well, Tyron, in the...
Oh, he's
9.
good.
He's incredible.
He's beautiful to watch.
He put on like a whole show in like a week, and he learned this whole big role.
Yeah.
A week, and he's just crazy.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Yeah.
Okay. When finishing your degree, you were scouted to be in Jersey Boys, making your professional debut. What was that experience like? Your first show, your first professional show.
It was pretty wild. I would say I got pretty lucky. Like, I think in this industry, a lot of it's luck, a lot of it's hard work. You have to have the hard work to get the luck, but like it's still where you are. Kind of in how I got into VCA, it's similar sort of thing happened with Jersey Boys in that I was in third year, start of third year, and Jersey Boys had already been cast. The whole cast had already been cast except for 2 roles. And they were starting in a month or a month and a half when this brief went out. And originally you're not really allowed to audition in third year at VCA. But the director of the resident director, the Australian resident director of Jersey Boys, was the same person who auditioned me for VCA my first time.
Oh, wow.
They're all about connections.
His name's Martin Croft, and they had done, Martin Croft and Luke Hunter, who was the music director, had done a couple of masterclasses at VCA where we had to prep for an audition, fake audition sort of thing. And they reached out to Tyron. They were like, we're auditioning for this swing track. We think Matt could potentially be quite good for it. If not, it'd be a really good audition experience just to be in a because I'd never obviously been in a professional room. So I went there on a Thursday, I think it was. There was like 30 guys that all kind of looked like me, and all very talented people, and did the dance call, got through, did the singing call, got through, and it was kind of just like, I was having the best time because I was like, this is like free masterclass. It's like, this is awesome. And then there was a very specific part of the track where you had to hit quite a low note.
Oh, right.
And that ruled a lot of the guys out. A lot of them couldn't sing it. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, I'm down to the last 4 of these. And I genuinely just thought they were giving me an audition experience. Like, I didn't think that I was in the running at all. So it was in all day Thursday, in all day Friday, and then Saturday we came in and this was the first time we were just by ourselves in the room. And because it was a swing track, they had us prepare everything.
Right.
It was like 10 scenes and 4 songs, and then we had to do, and it was all by ourselves with the creatives, and that was it. And I was having like, honestly, it was some of the most fun time I've ever had performing, because I was just like this green 21-year-old, like, and Jersey Boys is such a good show. Like, it's got such amazing writing. And yeah, I was having the best time. And also because I think I had no pressure, because I was just not considering that I was actually in the running. And then finished that, and I was like, that was so cool. Like, I want to do that more. I want to audition more. And then like 4 days later or something, I got the call from the producer and was like, oh, can you move to Sydney in 3 weeks? Okay. Yeah, sure. I'll just have to talk to uni, because we still had 7 months of uni. And then, it was a beautiful cast. They were all quite experienced. A lot of them were like maybe 10 years older than me. Especially the one, because I covered 2 of the 4 Jersey Boys. And the 2 that I covered, I really, really clicked with. We had similar passions in terms of sport, and that was kind of the first time I found people in theatre that loved sport as much as I did. And so we clicked, and he's actually now my agent, which is hilarious. But they took me under their wing, and they kind of just went, hey, this is what this is like. These are the do's, these are the don'ts. And like, anytime I maybe stepped out of line in terms of asking too many questions or maybe assuming something, they would straight away like pull me aside and be like, hey, like, just letting you know this is, and it was the best thing that could have happened to me, I think, because it kind of, it just gave me a really easy run into professional world. And I was very grateful for that. I feel like if I didn't have that, I might have got a bit lost, especially as the swing. Like,
definitely.
Super
swinging's
hard.
crazy, especially in that show, because every time you're on for a role. It's a lot of like, my first time I went on, it was the role. It was the one role I hadn't rehearsed at all.
Oh, no.
I had not said the lines out loud except for in my room. I had not done any of the track because I was preparing for 2 of the others, and it just happened to be that the wrong or right people got sick, and it was 2 days after opening night, and my parents happened to still be in Sydney, so they got to come and watch, and it all happened, and it was like, wow. Okay, I did that. But yeah, I loved it. I would do Jersey Boys again in a heartbeat. Yeah.
So do you say that just having that like look when going into auditions, just taking it as like an opportunity, do you still find that you look at auditions like that, or do you find more pressure now?
Nah, I mean, there's pressure. Of course there's pressure, and like when you're like, oh, I want this job, because either you want the job or because you need money. There's pressure. But I will always try to see it as an opportunity, because even if they're not looking at you seriously, if you can go in and do a really good job, they're going to be casting something in 2 years' time. Like I had a situation with Book and Woman where the MD of that called me, like asked me to come in to audition. I went in and I was in there for a week, like every day doing stuff. Oh, wow. And I got to the end and he was like, you're actually too tall for this, but I saw you play Nick in Jersey Boys and I wanted to see what else you could do.
Right.
And that some people would get annoyed by that. I was like, I just got a free week of workshops with amazing creatives. Yeah. And also now they've seen that I can do a whole bunch of different stuff that's not Jersey Boys and has paid off. Like I've got jobs from
Opens
that.
up your opportunities more.
I think if you can take that into the audition, and also it makes you more fun to watch for them. Like they don't want to see someone who's super, super desperate.
Yeah.
You know, like they want to see someone who's like
Who's enjoying it?
willing to
having
take
fun.
on the
There
direction,
for a good time.
give it a crack. Like even if you don't think you're right for it, like hey, show them like but you're willing to take direction and see what you can do.
Yeah, and you make friends from that as well.
Absolutely, I think and like I don't know, it's just fun. It's fun doing.
Yeah.
It's fun performing.
Yeah, definitely. Your most recent production before Tina, the musical, you played Dwayne in 9 to 5, the musical. What was it like to work with Marina Prior, Eddie Perfect, Cassie Donovan, Emma Clark, and Carolyn O'Connor?
It was pretty wild. It was very intimidating when you first go into the room with them. Particularly, I think Caroline and Marina. They both, not because of who they are, they're amazing, very fun, down to earth people. Just because like you grow up with them on screen and on stage, and
Feels a bit surreal, I'm guessing.
yeah, it was another Scotch Old Scholar, Geordie Tom Lenovich.
Oh, yeah.
Was also in that production. And the first time Caroline did her number in the rehearsal room, we were both standing next to each other, kind of looking at her going, this is wild. Like,
bit
how
starstruck.
are we in this room? And the same thing happened with Casey, actually. She sang her massive number, which was incredible. And you just sit there and everyone in the room was kind of like, whoa. But you just didn't feel real, didn't feel like you should be there, because they were these people that didn't, I was like, oh, they're not real people. They're just like people that are like out of touch. And then you get to know them and they're just down to earth. And it's like, oh, this is how they've worked for so long.
And they're the best people to work with. And that's
They're
why
really
they get
fun.
hired,
Like,
because they're just...
Marina, like, honestly, it's the backstage stuff that's amazing about them. They all had like really good leadership, and the leadership you kind of expect from people that experienced that helps navigate the company through whatever. Yeah. But then also they're willing to have fun. Like, Marina is a big St Kilda supporter, which not many people might know, but we'd have a lot of fun. I'd be giving her scores like as she came off stage, and then she came back on. Like it's just that sort of stuff that makes it really fun to be in the building. And they're all like, I got to cover Eddie, and which meant I got to do a duet dance with Caroline. Oh wow! Which was terrifying, because there was all these lifts and she's Caroline O'Connor, and you're like, don't drop Caroline. But she's a powerhouse. Like she was 60 doing this, and she was incredible. Wow. But she's just a lot of fun. She was like, there was no hierarchy. Like it didn't feel like they put themselves on a pedestal at all. They were just very come in, do your job, have fun. We're all here doing the same thing, which was amazing.
Best people to work with.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So has anything ever gone wrong on stage during a public performance?
All the time. What's the most recent one? In Tina, there's a number, spoiler alert, where we do a disco number. And I got caught on a costume and my shoe half came off, and then we do a kick in the number, and I just kicked my one shoe into the front row of the audience. And then at the end of the number, the guy just like picked up my shoe and put it on the stage. And just, I was already off stage, but yeah, like stuff goes wrong all the time, but that's the fun of live here, I think.
Shows it's live. It's not like we didn't plan my shoe to come off. But,
yeah, exactly. You know? And like, I mean, even 9 to 5, Marina, Casey and Erin were doing a scene together, and there was a line where it kind of sort of was like, oh, the audience can respond, but shouldn't, because it's live, it's theatre. But an audience member responded, and it just cracked them up. Like they could not stop laughing in this scene, to the point where all three of them had to turn around to face the back and finish the scene, because they couldn't stop laughing. And everyone was just laughing. It was a very, but it depends what show it is. 9 to 5, that works. Tina, it probably wouldn't work, but yeah, I mean, if you're willing to laugh through it, I think anything can kind of be fun. Yeah, stuff goes wrong all the time.
I mean, that guy in the front row could have sold that shit. I mean,
stuff happens. Another guy in Perth tried to put a beer on stage for the Tina to drink before her big number at the end. It's just, you get thrown things and you just deal with it. Yeah,
that's the fun of theatre.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think will be the next celebrity to have a musical written about them? Because you have Tina. Who do you want
Who
to see?
else?
Who do you want to see?
I mean, Prince would be
That'd be
yeah.
pretty
amazing.
cool.
Stevie would be amazing. Like, I think there's a lot of. I mean, Celine Dion surely will have one at some
definitely.
point.
Has to be.
And there's Michael Jackson now.
Well, yeah, there's
wanna
the
go
MJ one that's that's coming, and
Elvis just recently.
yeah, exactly. I mean, like all these people had super interesting lives and have incredible music. So
Maybe there'll be a Matt Pryor musical.
Stay
tuned.
Maybe I doubt it, but who knows? You can never say never.
Yeah, definitely.
So, as with lots of other Scotchies, you've got to enjoy some big scene performances and star in many of the Cameron ones. Gordon's actually the reigning
Gordon.
champions at the moment.
Oh,
Just
are they?
thought I'd put it out there.
Oh, okay.
So, if you could direct and star in your last big scene performance, what would you have it be?
What would I have it be? I want to say like Shrek or something. I don't know. Shrek's really fun. It's a fun show. Lots of different characters. You can be a bit silly with it. Also, I just want to be Shrek. Like, it's such beautiful music, and I think it'd be a lot of fun. Yeah, I'd maybe Shrek. Yeah. I don't know what sort of stuff do you guys do these days.
Oh, what do we do?
We did Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. We've done
nice.
Minions.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
We did Moana.
Moana.
That one as well.
Yeah,
Like
see,
now
Disney
we're
you
the
can't
same.
go wrong with.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
What's that like? Yeah, that was
Oh,
my
yeah.
first one. I don't know how I got talked into that. Yeah, no, I think Disney you can't go wrong with because it's like there's so many characters and everyone can have a bit of fun with it, and it's nostalgic music for everyone. So
Yeah, definitely. Got another question. I mean, you kind of touched base on this before, but like, do you have any advice for like people wanting to get into musical theatre right now and they haven't really done much of it before?
I mean, train.
Yeah,
Definitely is the number one thing. I think the thing about theatre is like, and from a reality perspective, there's a lot of people wanting to do it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of very talented people wanting to do it, and not taking it personally when you don't get picked for something, and just not like knowing that there will be a time that you are the right person for it. It can be a little bit overwhelming walking into rooms and being like, whoa, there's 100 people here that look
I
similar
was thinking
to
like
me,
myself, blonde hair, blue eyes. I'm pretty.
but
will be pretty standard.
You're going to get in that room and there's going to be something that makes you stand out.
Yeah,
like that's
for
the thing.
sure.
Is, like you may walk up to the audition room and everyone looks like you, and then you walk into the actual room and you show them something they haven't seen, or that it could just be like you said before, you can't stop smiling. It literally could be that.
Yeah.
Like something like that is great to be around. Like panels will go, yeah, awesome, because everyone can sing and everyone can dance.
Yeah.
It could be something so small, and knowing that you have the uniqueness to be able to stand out, even amongst people who may look like you or whatever. I think that's a big thing to take into those rooms. But yeah, just train. Like you can never train enough, I don't think.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
Never perfect. There's always something you can
always.
do.
Yeah, and keep the love. And that would be my biggest one. I think once it turns into a job, that will show in audition rooms, or that will show in on stage or whatever. And you don't want to lose that. I think that's one of the beauties of being in theatre is you're getting to do the thing that you love doing rather than it being like a thing you have to do for money. And so, yeah, I try and always keep the passion there. And if potentially, like at the end of 9 to 5, I went away for 5 months, if that's what you need to do, to then like just take a bit of a break and not sing for a bit or whatever, do that. But yeah, try and not lose the passion and the reason that you've pursued theatre in the first place.
Yeah, definitely. Another quick question by me.
Hit me.
Before you said you want to have a lot of fun in auditions and like treat it like a workshop, but is there points where you need to be like serious and like just show off your pure talent and like be like?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like when I say treat it like have fun. I mean, it's the don't lose the sense of play. Like don't be afraid to laugh or like try something different if they've asked you to try it. But yeah, like if you're in the final round for a thing that you've been in for all week, go in and sing the absolute crap out of that song. Go in and show your best, do your best thing. It's the same as like in a dance call, you can have fun, like be serious, but like still smile and have fun with people. But then when they say that you're in that group of 4 with that camera on you doing it, go for your life.
Definitely.
Because at the end of the day, a lot of the time they're sending these videos over to America or to England, and you're trying to be picked by these people who maybe aren't in the room. Like that's with Jersey Boys. It's like you have to get okayed by Bob Gaudio and Frankie Valli. That's the only way you can get cast. And so they're sending a video of you. You want that to be the best thing ever to those people. And so, yeah, like when they turn that camera on, go for leather. But I do think you want to keep your personality. You don't want to do that robot thing and be too serious. But yeah, you got to show off when you can.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
Just one more quick one.
Hit me.
Is there a character you've always wanted to play? Like, what's your favourite character that you want to play?
Shrek. That's what you said before.
Well, this is my thing with Shrek is I love singing the songs. I don't know if I'd want to do the prosthetics.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a 4-hour process.
It's the same with Elphaba. It's like, I'd love to sing that, but would I really want to be painted green every night?
My friends that are doing Elphaba at the moment are just permanently green.
Yeah.
So
I'm not sure how you could.
I don't know Shrek. I want to play a lot of dad roles, if I'm being completely honest.
From Matilda? The dad from Matilda?
Yeah, like Next to Normal. I want to play the dad in Next to Normal. I want to play the dad in Big Fish.
Oh, yeah.
So I think like in 10 years' time, hopefully. But I often fall in love with characters that I'm doing at the time. So like I would love to do Bright Star again. That was one of the best experiences I've ever had. I'd love to do Jersey Boys again. They're just, I think when you're like in the character and getting to discover it every night and everything, you find so much stuff to have fun with. I'm trying to think what else. I get asked this question all the time and I feel like I should have a better answer, but
It probably changes.
it does.
Like,
It absolutely
changes all the time.
Andra in Les Mis.
Oh, yeah.
Which is such a random choice because most people are like, Marius or Valjean. I was like, nah, Andra is amazing. He comes in, gets to sing a bit of like amazing songs, and then he dies.
To
win.
Everyone pretty much dies in Les Mis.
Well, that's very true. That is very true. Bit depressing.
Lucy, what's your favourite? What do you want to play?
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, if I'm going to be honest, it's been this for like years. I know I just said it changed all the time, but I always come back to Elwoods.
Great role.
Come on, like how could you not?
Role. Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's a fun show.
Oh, for sure.
I played Warner again, actually. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he's a great cat.
What about you?
I mean, I've always wanted to do Charlie and the Chocolate Factory again, but like I'm trying to push for it here at Scotch, but people keep saying no.
Not a fan.
Like, of course,
Miss Trig don't get any ideas.
Or your classic John Travolta in Grease. Like,
Oh, sure.
or
When was the last time they did Grease here?
Oh.
Was it when I was in year 7?
ages
Oh, wow.
ago.
Yeah.
I think that was it.
I
Or,
love Grease.
Time to bring it back. Although, you've got to change the script a little bit
Yeah.
these days.
of course,
but
of course. And but
PJ.
like also there's like Dirty Dancing. Johnny Castle.
Sure. Is that just because you want to do the lift, or?
I mean, yeah, but like Patrick Swayze, I mean, he's a pretty cool guy. So like,
It's a good show. It's a good show.
All right, well, thank you very
That's
much.
it. Thanks so
Thanks
much.
for having
Thank
me.
you very much. That's it. Yeah.
See you next week.
See you next week.